Have you ever seen a green unit kill Byleth like that? Because now you have, aren't you glad you stuck around? Hello there, yada yada ether keep. My name is the Detroit Lions, and I had a great day yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about. It's defense time again, and it's chaos season, which means I did have to cook up something brand new, and by something brand new, I mean something that might look a little bit familiar, but I'm actually just kidding, because, I ultimately decided to change up the defense after this first replay because it did happen to work this time, but the problem here is that, if you remember, in Anima Season I have a Dancer Trap where Mirabilis comes down from here and sits in this tile so that Asker's weapon is always powered. I tried a lot of experimentation with rally traps and stuff for the chaos setup, and I couldn't find anything 100% consistent, so I just didn't feel good risking it because this duo turns from fortified steel to wet construction paper. the friend in 3 spaces really makes all the difference. However, this time the rally trap did actually work out. We also just kind of got them on not seeing the range expansion from Ygrin, and everything really went about as well as it could have. So maybe I should have just stuck with this, because I think it's still like about 4% of challengers seem to notice the range thing on the tree map for some reason. Even when they're using Ygrin themselves, they don't seem to. I don't know. Apparently the strongest strategy is always unpredictability, and I guess Ygrin really brings that. But we changed it up to be kind of a fusion of my dark and anima defenses. So we have Sorin, Ygrin, and Chrom from anima in the formation I use during dark. Basic idea here is Sorin actually powers Freyr as a near savior. Freyr is a bonus unit this week. And he also has Pivot, which means that he can jump leapfrog over these units if need be to make things just more annoying on a turn 2 type situation. Other than that, it's pretty much stuff you've seen before if you've been to the channel before. And if you haven't, hey, thanks for being here. Press subscribe. You'll get used to it real fast and you'll have a great time. So what happens here, this is actually one of the weirdest replays I've ever seen, because they maybe they didn't know about the range expansion, I guess, because they seem to only get out of the way with this one. And arguably their best tank is this Marth, who just, I think he's bonus right now, just didn't even get involved. And on turn 1 we reduce pretty much everything down to nothing, and that's that. So once again, the unpredictability of Ygrin really gets the job done. Now this person had this as a shared unit, which is frankly horrifying. I never want to fight this, although if I'd had the option to rematch, I probably would have, just to see what they're cooking. I feel like it's probably a Radiant Dawn theme team, because they did come in with like the most horrifying thing you could possibly ever see, which is why I suspect they have a very strong Radiant Dawn core. They also have like this slept on boy, who I still haven't gotten, even though I pull the green ticket every week. And the new thing, so let's see what happens here. It might not be what you expect. I've run into some Altinas in Arena, and it gives me leprosy. I hate it. It's unwinnable. Anyway, this is my Chrom build, by the way. He just gets that done because he's like that. Kinda crazy. And that's what Sorin had to add. I did, at a certain point, get an Emblem Marth of my own, and I have been having a lot of fun finding ways to apply him to every team and strategy I like, including getting Glacies down to 2 cooldown on Sorin, which is 1 with Time's Pulse, even without Asker's help. So he is like maximum threatening without sacrificing anything. I think I was originally running Quick and Pulse on this team. I got to switch it up for Attack Res Ideal, because hitting that check really does make the difference. It's a 10 res check to get the Brave effect, and that is where the magic is made. So what do we have here? We have the most oppressive enemy phase unit, maybe, and the most oppressive player phase unit. I think, like, inarguably that might be true. Maybe the Gulvigs, but just take a look at what happens here. Actually, there's certain animations for this because it is fiercely satisfying. So I've been really trying hard to find a way to use Emblem Marth to get Miracle on Yunaka for AR defense. Haven't made it work yet, but as you can see here, as soon as I do, she does win this. I think it would involve, Asker. So, maybe it's doable. Maybe I can make that happen. Anyway, for that, how lovely. And, yeah, that kind of guts the team, so that's that for that one. Now, what do you think does win against this team? Because it wasn't a perfect season, unfortunately. Still top 3K, almost top 1K, but not quite perfect. Am I mad about it? I'm not mad about this. We'll talk about the others. But this, and I did not rematch because... Why did I not rematch? I think it's because they had some impressive stuff here. They just seem like a very good player with teched out units. I saw this, and this worried me. I didn't want to rematch that. Or, you know, they're just... I'm surprised they're using Duo Asker when regular Asker was a bonus unit, but they must have their reason. Actually, Duo Asker is really nice for like being able to break things, to smite and reposition in, plays like that, so that's probably the strat there. So you see these two. We don't need animations for this because it's just going to be Edelgard attacking 32 times. These Guidance, Warp, Gale Force plays are pretty fearsome. I want to start doing more of them because I was having a lot of fun with player phase strategies on Chaos Offense this week, and I want to start working it into the normal seasons, so stay tuned for offense content. Definitely for this week, and hopefully for future weeks, where I'll be doing that, because it turns out that it's fun to do. But anyway, you saw that I changed my defense, and after this, I was kind of like, should I not have changed it? But it's really, I mean, what does this not beat? What does a strong setup for Edelforce not beat right now? I think the only teams that can actually hold up to it are, like, trivial to defeat by other means, probably. Maybe more for simplifying the game, but it's tough to be too upset about that one. I mean, I'm upset that there is a strategy in the game that is that hard to counter, but, I mean, that's just the RNG, right? The real problem with this was that this one was lift control active. It came in when this was like 19 and a half hours old, so I'm mad at Intelligent Systems Corporate, but not at the Adel player. Okay, anyway, let's see what Ian brought to the table, because I have math prepared for this one. Loosely. This is another case where it seems like they didn't know about the range, because they could have been okay here. Like, if Peony was just right here instead, they actually would have gotten as many turns as they wanted. Wouldn't even be a safety fence thing. Oh no, because Edelgard was in range. Maybe I popped the fence, but Edelgard would still be in range. So, I don't know what happened there. Maybe just a miscalculation they were willing to take. But here, they get Yunaka, that's fine. Edelgard ends turn instead of attacking, so I take that to mean that Freyr is like that and doesn't go down. I think the guard really helps. But more importantly, I did out the math. Igrin takes down this Edelgard. This, like, actual max invested far save, impenetrable green armor gets cleanly clocked by, I mean, I'm not even fully invested on this. And also over here, I did not do out the math, but I am convinced that Soren wins this. I mean, the DR is probably, what, like 30% total, and we definitely get the Brave effect with this res, and even with the damage reduction on Glacies by 8, it's gonna hit pretty hard, and there's another whole hit after that, so... Also no DC, so it would then turn into a whole thing. I think that if they had played further, it would not have gone well. So that is that. Let's see, we got a few more here. A few more. I promise it's going to be shorter than it looks. A few more here. So this is another interesting one. This is another one that is showing why I think the units I'm using are units I like using. I'll explain what that means. You'll get it. You'll understand. So, Here's an interesting thing. How often do you see this unit? That's a really good unit. Oh, I want that unit. Oh, this unit would be so fun to do so many things with. Oh, I want that unit. Oh, and she's a near save. That's cracked. Wow. Double guidance too. Yeah, this is 11 study type of team. She lives. She lives. The Sorin quad with 38 resistance. That is nuts. Maybe it was more than that before. No, I think that's probably decently accurate. So then here, watch this. Watch very carefully. Sorin ends turn because I actually win this res check. I'm 90% sure, even with the Veil support. Certainly I'm not losing it by 10, so this Sorin doesn't get Brave. I already have Glacies ready to go. So Sorin can't attack into me because my Glacies will wipe him off the face of the earth. And then they try to see if Tana can do anything. Again, the Glacies with DR cut, she can't get off Deadeye to win. So this unit, despite having 22 resistance, locks out their entire team and wins the game, which I think is amazing. I was sleeping on Brave Sorin for a while, but he is aging like the finest wine. A+ unit, top tier. Okay, this one I am mad about. This one I'm mad about because, well, I'll just let you watch what happens. So I tested this team a lot against Gulvig type teams and found it surprisingly difficult to get through because of specifically Chrom, right? You're kind of funneled in to attack on this side, meaning you're leaving these two open, but you're going to be exerting threat range after they move so that Chrom will get an insane amount of movement and do something you don't want, right? And here, I mean, actually not even far enough out of the way to get away from Igrin. Win the trap gamble, which is infuriating. And Igrin's like that. But from here they do actually choose to clean it up. And it's, you know, it's a gamble, there's so many. They read me on the Chrom situation, that's true. Because and it's like, I'm kind of forced to put a real trap here, right? Otherwise, if you can just snipe Igrin and get out, the entire team ceases to function, so yeah, I guess it's a little... Maybe I should have put the other one... There's only so much you can do at the end of the day. I just didn't think they'd take it. I'm mad that they took it. That's really the issue. Alright, last ones are quick. I promise I'll get you out of here in no time at all. So what do we have here? Well, look at this unit. Usually the Harbinger of Doom. But today, no Mythic Blessings. You don't get 2 Hex Trap in such a way. And this one, get ready for a little bit of Deja Vu. It's units we've seen before, but I'm not entirely sure what. I guess they thought they'd be able to get up to here or something. I couldn't, or maybe the Kanto didn't work the way they want. I couldn't really tell you, but I guess there was no way to get Peony into a safe place and use Altino to tank everything. I think that is what we are witnessing. And finally, we get to end with a failure that really wasn't a failure. This is a very interesting match because, well, I think this guy's sort of the talk of the town right now, and I am still not convinced that he's a good enemy phase unit. I'm just not. I think he's a crazy player phase unit. I think he's a enemy phase unit, but perhaps every enemy phase unit is that now. Keep your eye on this Dimitri. So this is just a case of the back line being an issue, right? Would you look at that? The Igrin AoE damage is so silly. And you might notice that they only have a couple of units left. But, once Dimitri is allowed to cook, it turns out that cook he does. He got the player phase, which means he can do whatever he wants. And even though I have Hardy Bearing, because I don't run Flash Sparrow, we don't recharge our AoE to actually hit the damage on him. And that'll be that. So, well played. Well played, Dimitri. I hope this is an arrangement where everyone got what they wanted, because, I mean, it didn't even count for me, but it would have been 0 lift loss anyway, so it's a dub in the 11 SETI book. Alright, that was my defense. We watched the whole thing today because I thought every match actually had something worth talking about, so that is the way. I will let you out of here now. Offense videos coming sometime, and keep the party going. Till then.